Hello and welcome to Campaign Comrades, your favorite leftist gaming podcast. I am your host, Ben, and I've got all the comrades with me. It's a news episode, folks.
Huh? Tell it's an early recording.
Why? Because
you're a little slow to the podcast. You had to decide what type of medium we were in.
Yeah, I forgot.
Your favorite leftist gaming radio channel.
Yeah, we're on the internet radio. It's the hot new thing, folks. Have you heard of it?
Sirius XM. It's the future.
We're recording only an hour earlier than we normally do, but yes, my brain is pudding. It's sugar, man.
It's sugar, man.
But how we doing, boys? How's our gaming been going? Mike cannot stop talking about how excited he is to have done questionably legal thing. Yeah, our podcast legal expert is doing potentially questionable legal things with his gaming over the past.
Hey, I'm not selling it. It's all for personal use. It's fair use.
Technically, you own copies of the things you are emulating. So who's to say where you've gotten this ROM that you've ripped it from your own copy? You own it. That is actually technically legal, as far as my understanding. This is not legal advice, folks.
Yeah, and I'm not signing off on that. I have no clue. All I know is the amount that I've been texting you guys, it's double time to Joe, and I've just been making him cream his pants at work and while golfing.
How is he on board? Is he on board? You guys?
Oh yeah, he's super excited. We got a date next week to sit down and download everything.
How cute.
You're just making Pokemon?
No, like randomizing.
The real reason he's doing this is so that we can't see his playtime in Pokemon anymore.
You beat me to the joke. I've been waiting for that one.
He knows that we've seen that it's at like 350 plus hours, and he is like, nope, we're migrating this to a private server, folks.
Catch me if you can, Mr.
You are not wrong there. Yeah, Joe's excited. Yeah, we're just gonna be like randomizing things, probably do some videos, him and I battling, things like that.
It would be cool to see you do something like a Nuzlocke run.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, definitely want to incorporate that as well. Just some technical issues, figuring some of it out.
Hands up, I'm admitting to not being a gamer in this moment. Yeah,
what does a Nuzlocke
mean, and what does that mean? What is why that term?
Couldn't tell you where the term comes from. I just know
probably the person who pioneered it, right?
Yeah, that would
probably some YouTuber or something.
Someone named Nuz.
There are variations to it because it can be randomized or non-randomized, but the whole gist of it is you catch one Pokemon per zone, first Pokemon you encounter. When they get knocked unconscious, permadeath. They are released from your party forever.
Yeah, or you sometimes will have a box of your dead mons, but
yeah. I mean, it's easier probably just logistically to release them so that you don't accidentally.
It's all about making the baby game actually challenging and tactical.
Yeah. And then you could modify the games. Like I've randomized all of the ones that I have so far. People mod them other ways to add additional things. On the game that Matt had played, the remakes of Diamond and Pearl, someone made a platinum version which made it harder and changed things and made it similar to the platinum DS original game. It'll make the trainers have max 6 Pokemon with max stats and shit like that.
Apparently the name comes from a comic series of the same name. And it's all about it featured the Nuzleaf Pokemon.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think it's a sign of a great game when you have to make up arbitrary rules and mod the shit out of it for it to be a challenge.
I was holding off because I've already had my silvery bones.
I mean, yeah, but it creates community, just like we talked about in the Pokemon episode. Is Pokemon
folks go check out the Pokemon or the Disney Adults of Gaming episode.
I I don't know where I saw it, whether it was on like Twitter or one of the Poke YouTubers I was watching was saying how like we're 5 years away from Pokemon being Disney adults. And it's like,
Oh boy, we're already there.
Yeah.
We've been
5 years
there.
away.
The
We've been-
Rubicon's been crossed.
Yeah. Speaking of Rubicon, that was a great way for me to get this one in here. Fire's Rubicon looks cool. Mechs, I'm with that.
Oh hell yeah! I'm like,
I can't wait.
I like feel like a poser buying the collector's edition, seeing as I've never played one before. But like the art book, I love mechs. If they have some cool art for mechs, that's awesome. The statue looks cool as hell.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, always love me a steelbook. It's actually not that expensive for a lot of these collector's editions.
What was it? What
Like
was the price?
200? It's like
Okay.
200 or maybe 220.
I
Because
was considering
there's also like a bigger edition, you know, a bigger one that like has like it's got like
It gives
the
you an
mech-
actual life-size mech.
Yeah, but
you get a mech.
there's like a garage thing that you can put your
Garage band.
your statue in. A mech garage. I think there's something else you get as well, but I don't know, it looks cool. Looks cool. I saw some funny piece today. I think it was actually this morning before. It was like as I was trying to wake up, I was like scrolling with one eye open. Some article where it was like an interview with one of the producers of Armored Core. It says like insists that the game is not a Souls-like, proceeds to describe the game in explicitly Souls-like terms.
I mean,
I sent an article that said that.
Yeah, I have seen that. Apparently, they are more difficult historically than the Souls games. Is the claim I've seen.
I just feel like it's because they're older, right? You know, it's like
that was kind of my
it's
thought.
of a different era. Because like you know, in true FromSoft fashion, there is a built-in difficulty curve, right? With how I understand it, with how much customization they have on offer.
Yeah.
There's got to be ways to make it, you know, quote unquote, easier.
Tailor your build.
Yeah, to your play style. So it's like that there's I think they describe it as tactical customization and shit like that. So I don't know. It seems cool as hell. I'm interested. I'm there. And coming out in fucking August. Damn.
I just want to like, not to, you know, fellatio from software, but can we get more of this type of a release cycle? Like the 1 year, like show off like a teaser trailer, give us some story, give us a gameplay, and then release date within 12 months.
But how do you sell all your other games while you're marketing your new game for 6 years?
They did it well. It's like they let some, you know, strategic leaks get out there. So it's like we knew that Armored Core was like, we quote unquote knew that Armored Core was happening, but it didn't get officially like confirmed until the Game Awards, you know, and then you know, we have like basically then 6 months and 8 months by that point to when it's actually released. And you know, that is a healthier cycle. They're able to go, it's like, we don't know, we're not saying anything. Wink,
they've
wink,
also had a
nudge,
pretty
nudge.
healthy cadence of releases as of late. Like if you go back to, you have Bloodborne and Dark Souls 2 launched together, Dark Souls 3, Sekiro, Elden Ring, and Armored Core. Those are 5 games in 7 years. Like that's a pretty healthy cadence of releases.
Now, is the actual production of it healthy though? That I think is questionable at best. But
there is no war in From Software.
But
it's actually right in the name.
So you know who's gearing up for battle, who's hiring those mercenary troops. It's Wizards of the Coast. You love to hate them.
Hey man, they're just treating it like a D&D campaign. You know, their party got insulted, and they sent a band of mercenaries
to go
you
to
know?
go murder them. Yeah,
They met
folks.
in a tavern.
And by tavern is breaking down somebody's door. But man, it's just like when Wizards of the Coast, like, you know, they get back a tiny little bit of goodwill. People are saying like, oh yeah, the movie, it's good. Like, we enjoy it. Isn't this fun and wholesome? And then they go and
We
hire
reverted all of the things that people didn't like.
yeah, they go and hire the literal Pinkertons. You know, infamous union busting and activist murdering private security firm, the Pinkertons, the literal villains from Red Dead Redemption 2. They've hired them to. So there's this Magic the Gathering YouTuber, what's his name here? Old School MTG, like, had ordered one of the regular, like, the whatever the current set is, but was mistakenly given the unreleased set of Magic the Gathering, March of the Machine, the Aftermath. So he, like, you know, kind of unknowingly, you know, just seemed like kind of a beautiful idiot kind of situation. Did a unboxing and opened the cards and
They're sending me like a premiere boxing. I can do that.
And well, it's because he got it from, he didn't even get it from them. He got it from some third party. He got it from
Even
some
better.
third party. And, you know, opened this set, and the videos were like immediately copyright claimed. And then he had the Pinkertons knocking on his door, made his wife cry, you know, leveled some veiled threats, and
Killed his dog.
probably. And and so they took the cards back, and they also took the packaging. That was the funniest part of it to me.
I mean, it's their copy, or, you know,
is that they took the open and discarded pack, like, you know, foil packaging.
Booster pack foil.
It's
rummaging through his garbage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, yeah, like the literal scum of the earth that the Pinkertons are.
Imagine getting pistol whipped while being asked where the garbage in your garbage is.
Wizards did finally, you know, confirm that yes, that was part of their investigation. They hired the Pinkertons to go an investigator to go. It's like when they tried and failed to get in touch with this guy, they sent an investigator to his house, recovered the merchandise, but they have said, oh, the product that he did order, that was you know, mistakenly swapped out for this unreleased set, they will be replacing with, you know, the set that he actually had. But yeah, that sure makes up for
the trauma. Are they
going to
replace his door?
Yeah, so that sure makes it makes up for the, you know, the trauma and the
it'll actually be an envelope bomb, and it'll just be blown up.
Yeah, like, come on, man. I would sue for damages.
It's just like
Wizards, get more
like
Pinkertons knocking on your door.
It's like whoever is like responsible for these decisions at Wizards, like how they still have a job, is wild to me.
Did they ever like even reach out to him to ask, like, nicely, like, hey man?
They said they did. They
didn't respond like Trump to the FBI. He said, go fuck yourself, and then they came busting in like it was Mar-a-Lago.
I mean,
Wizards claims that they tried to get in touch with him, and then were resorted to sending the Pinkertons.
They sent one phone call from a private number that he didn't pick up that said spam risk, and they're like, oh well, time to fucking bust in that fucking door.
Yeah, I mean, I just think they need to reevaluate who they hire for these sorts of situations, because Dog the Bounty Hunter is still out there and
still looking for work.
Much better option.
Yeah, he's a much more charismatic.
No, his
figure.
wife died.
Yeah,
and then he immediately married like another woman.
Cool. can't let down the wife guy image.
Yeah, at least they could have made it like a reality TV show on top of it, you know?
Yeah.
But they're
That's
all
what we
about
all
like, you know,
want.
we're trying to avoid bad, like, you know, bad publicity after, you know, the huge open gaming license thing. Like, we're trying to avoid the spread of these leaks or whatever. So let's send the notorious, you know, murderous private security firm to go do this. And yeah, I'm
I
sure
like
that's
to
gonna
assume that they showed up
gonna
in
blow
like
over well.
pinstripe suits and like
the Dick Tracy outfits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Men in Black.
Listen,
Top
see,
hats.
yeah, no, it's not top hats. It'd be
Or no, yeah.
fedoras.
Oh.
Yeah,
fedoras.
fedoras.
Listen here,
Three-piece
see.
suit and a fucking like chain
It'd
pocket
be a shame
watch.
if something happened to that there YouTube channel, huh?
At least one leaning on a cane.
It is absolutely egregious what Wizards is doing. And you know, Matt, as our certified Reddit sleuth, you know, you were deep in the mines, seeing how the D&D subreddit you know, reignited over this.
It was
Again,
a
like,
week
pe-
straight of just memes.
It had things had kind of cooled down, right? You know, I mean, not entirely, because there's a whole bunch of drama that I won't get into now about the creator summit that they held for D&D, where, you know, basically you know,
They stole ideas.
on company dime, you know, bringing out like the influencer class
Hmm.
of D&D people to get their opinions on it, and
Steal their ideas and execute them.
not really. They're not really. You know, there for. That's
They're
kind
not
of
idea
a
heads.
big thing is that they're not. I mean, well, yeah, the people that they're taking are not like, you know, the people you really want for, you know, to be giving you ideas. But like, yeah, there's like
Plus,
some.
let's not perpetuate conspiracy here. We know they're not getting executed. They're getting soul zorbed by what's his name? The Metal Gear Solid game director.
Oh, Kojima.
Kojima.
Yeah, they're getting soul sucked by
the
Kojima's
Kojima
soul.
soul suck machine. Yeah. No, but there's a whole bunch
So
of
they
like
can be immortalized forever in 3D.
There's like this class of influencer creators around D&D that are like, yeah, basically running cover for all these problems, and like trying to be like, oh no, like we're trying to, it's the classic liberal tactic of, you know, we're trying to change the system from within, right? There's like one creator is like, you know, trying to push back on like the backlash that she and other creators who attended the summit were creating, and it says how like there's something like, more and more it's clear people don't actually care about reshaping the industry, but eroding it and destroying the people who do openly advocate for change, usually spinning it for their own attention, profit, views, etc. People don't want change makers, they want effigies. And then an actual, you know, radical creator, you know, like you know, calls that out for bullshit. You know, it's like that, how the industry is more than just wizards, you know, that, you know, people are really caring about reshaping this, but they want to shape it away from wizards. You know, they are clearly not healthy stewards of this hobby and are doing everything they can to, you know, take as much money out of it as possible at all, you know, at all direct costs for the actual, you know, health of the community itself. It's pure capitalist instinct, right? Short-term gains over, you know, long-term
Viability.
Long-term viability. Yeah, it's like they're
I have a question for you, Ben. Yeah. So like, that's kind of been the case with Wizards even before they were purchased, right? Or has or does the community feel like it's been worse since it's part of Hasbro, right?
Yeah, it's Hasbro.
Yeah.
It's like Hasbro's like most profitable entity
segment.
point.
Yeah. So like, is
feel
there a
like-
correlation?
I feel like it's probably been more I mean, because we see the blow up of D&D kind of coincide with that that new kind of corporate structure, right? Because like, you know, there's the whole history of D&D was like, owned by TSR, that eventually was like going, insolvent and, was not producing good stuff. Wizards got its start by making Magic. That was its big thing. They bought the rights to D&D, started publishing the new editions. Fourth edition obviously didn't go well, and then it's like they're bought by Hasbro, and fifth edition comes out. It's it's a big deal. I largely see these things as more recent and not necessarily directly tied. I think Hasbro is responsible, but I don't think that that timing lines up as
Okay.
as neatly as that.
Got
But
it.
like this person like here is like saying that like, yeah, it's like these people, this influencer class is, beholden to propping up Wizards of the Coast and the D&D brand because it's directly to their benefit, right? Influencers are fucking parasites, and the farther we move away from this one large monolithic brand, that hurts them, that hurts their cachet. They need this one entity to be able to trade cultural capital off of. That when that's why they are always, as this person says, sticking to the response of let us handle it, be kind, don't make too much noise. That's the liberal
Perfect.
that's
It's
the
perfect.
liberal mantra.
Yeah, that should be the Democratic Party slogan.
Yeah,
We
so
should
it's-
like give them a call. Call the DNC up. Let's give that to them. Let's make some moolah off of it.
no
Joe should run on that.
as this example of from them hiring the Pinkertons again. It's like they're never, they don't care about the product, they don't care about you, the consumer, they don't care about community in any sense. It's all about how can we maximize profits right now.
Moolah, baby.
That's it for
All
me,
about the
folks.
moolah.
That's it for me, folks. I will say in my last bit of tabletop news, though, the Warhammer Fest is happening like as we speak, and they dropped the stuff for the new starter set for the box, the starter box.
Yeah.
Andrew, they're looking like
I
some
saw
cool,
that. I haven't looked at it yet.
some cool Tyranid models. A lot of
Fuck yeah.
Termagants, which you already have a healthy amount of Termagants, but like.
Yeah.
Hey, we can play some real big games with a horde, with a true horde.
I was gonna say
so that's
maybe we
fine.
could do a Necron versus
Yeah.
Tyranid Horde.
Oh, we're gonna, the three of us will be eating good though. They're gonna be doing the starter thing in the summer and end of the summer, fall, and when they actually start releasing codex, it'll obviously be Space Marines and Tyranids because those are the starting factions. But Necrons will be in the next drop after that.
Sweet.
They'll be in the winter.
We're supposed to be getting some new Catan support.
I mean, besides the Void Dragon, right? The rest of those models are very
Kinda suck.
very old, and like it's more the models kind of are definitely showing their age. There's the one,
Deathbringer's pretty good, but
I forget what they call that one, the Knight one. That one is had a good run in the meta. But all right, that's it for the tabletop corner.
Cosmic Brain take here because I like to predict things. When Activision Blizzard gets blocked, Microsoft's going to take all that money and they're going to buy D&D and they're going to put it on Game Pass. D&D on Game Pass, folks.
What are they calling they're calling the because that was one thing they did at the Creator Summit, is that they showed off the tabletop, the virtual tabletop thing. That's like going to be its own standalone thing.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that one D&D or
No, one D&D is the rule set. Then there's D&D Beyond, which is like the digital tool set for playing classic D&D. And then they're
already
calling,
too many things.
Yeah, they're calling the tabletop something else, and they showed it off. And yeah, it's a video game, folks.
And that's what they wanted.
Well, yeah, we're going to get that on Game Pass. But speaking of no great transition, just
No,
gonna
yeah,
move
just
into it.
just rolling right into it.
I was trying to find something, I couldn't find a thread. We got some more discussion and more talk about some new handhelds coming to market. It seems
I was
like
pretty excited about that.
seems like the niche is growing, and
Of
it's
course,
the first
right-
one that's
of course,
actually approached
right
the actual price point.
Right
which is
after I buy
interesting.
my Steam Deck.
Yeah, it's fun. I still think the Steam Deck's better because I think having the touchpads adds a utility. Like, even if you don't think
I did see some people saying like, yeah, like after playing with their Steam Deck for so long, they become so enamored with the touchpad things. They're like that they need to add that bit of out of the hardware touch, and then they would really consider it.
Yeah.
I honestly haven't played enough with different things that require that, so I can't say for sure.
like I played a little bit of Divinity with it that one time, and it was a pretty good experience actually overall. And I mean, they've experimented with that before. They had the Steam controller in the past, which had two giant touchpads on it that you could use like a scroll wheel and a mouse.
Yeah.
Did you own it?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Colored me surprised.
Yeah, same.
It was a very short run, and they're very expensive now. And I'm not going to pay secondhand for someone's sweaty ass controller.
Yeah.
Authentic Cheeto dust.
Yeah. Nah. But the Asus ROG Ally handheld looks very pretty.
It really
I think it looks cool.
It really bothers me, even though it's probably the correct way to say it, when people call it Asus. I've heard the majority of people call it the Asus ROG Ally.
Jesus.
Yeah. Asus.
I've always
I call it Asus.
Yeah, in my brain,
Asus.
it's always been
Yeah.
Asus.
Asus.
But it looks cool. I mean, the pricing stuff, has that been confirmed yet, or is that still rumors? I forget. Things have been coming in hot and fast.
The top price is confirmed. The bottom price is a leak from Best Buy.
And that's like, it's like what, like 900 and 600 are those two prices?
No.
Is that right?
700 and 600.
Oh, 700?
Yeah, it was
Yes.
like $699.
It's $50 more expensive than the top tier Steam Deck, and it's
Oh.
$70 more expensive than the equivalent tier Steam Deck of memory
Which is the mid tier,
at its base.
which is the one
So
that
it's
I have.
the better
Uh.
deal is the more expensive one, which is obviously like I want to know how much they've shaved into the margin on that to try to get that close to the Steam Deck
Steam Deck.
top.
That's
Yeah.
that's so interesting too, because right, we know that this is how console
Consoles
console
sell at a
system
loss
works.
because of
They always do.
subscriptions and game sales.
and Steam has the upper
And
hand
yes,
there
because of Valve or
because
Valve
of-
and Steam.
Yeah, because it has the Steam store that they are getting the profit from, whereas the ROG thing running Windows, yeah, you can run it's got
Run
native
Steam,
Windows,
but
so
you
you
also
can
can
run
run
Steam.
Windows.
You can also run Game Pass. You can also run
Epic.
Epic,
Yeah.
probably GOG. You
Yeah.
can run all those things.
Ubisoft.
But that's not their marketplace. They're not seeing the software sales there.
Yeah.
Whereas where Steam can
Or
And obviously, like,
microtransactions.
Asus, they've been in the PC gaming market as a top competitor for a while, especially their laptops are.
Say that's I've got their laptop with technically I mean
I
yes,
think
it's
three
the-
of us have their laptop.
It's the mobile version, but it's like it's got a better fucking GPU than my tower.
Yeah.
So like
They-
I trust their ability to release a good product there. I'm just fascinated at the price point. It's I was expecting this to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $800.
Yeah, 800
based
to
on-
1,000 was my guess when I
Yeah.
first saw it coming out.
It's
I
just,
thought
you
they were
know,
going to do 800, and that was going to be their like the most they could cost cut to get it
you know,
down to try to be competitive.
Steam Deck has forced their hands, right? Because you have to be competitive with that price
Yes.
point now, or else
Yeah.
it will be incredibly niche. You know,
It's
Yeah,
almost
exactly.
it's almost
Because there
dead on
already is a
arrival if
niche
it's not.
market.
Yeah.
it was, but Steam Deck has
It's
made
growing
it
rapidly.
a considerably, because what Steam Deck has sold like 3 million units.
Yes.
That's
And
pretty,
the
that's
thing
pretty
that
good.
makes it interesting is that these handhelds could potentially end up replacing like the dedicated gaming laptop,
Mhm.
like as a market platform, because
I
gaming
think that's
laptops
right.
are kind of in the like dying niche where they're they become so prohibitively expensive to get.
Mhm.
Yeah, just buy a
something that works.
just buy a PC.
Yeah,
like
and when you get a tower, you can piece by piece upgrade. Whereas with a lot of these modern laptops, you cannot
It's all fixed.
upgrade stuff at nearly that level, if at all.
At
depending
most
on
of
what
them
you
not
upgrade
at all.
RAM and that's it.
Yeah, or maybe storage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably storage more than anything.
Yeah.
Most of the RAMs are soldered on.
Yeah. I think that handheld PC gaming is going to be quite the interesting market to follow, and I think there's going to be more people, especially if this ends up selling pretty decently. I think you're going to see a larger market share of different manufacturers dipping their toe and trying to hit that price point. I wouldn't doubt if we'd see Microsoft try to do something like that.
I would
mean,
say no, that they won't, because they're getting
They're-
away from hardware.
They want
Hardware
the
is
and they already
bad for
have their
them.
Logitech. They're just going to license Game Pass to
Yeah,
specific
yeah.
manufacturers, like they've already done. Well, not that they've like exclusively licensed it, but they've got the Logitech Game Pass streaming handheld for what, $299.
Yes, they're obviously going to market with different manufacturers
No,
on the
they-
sense
they
of
don't-
But they
they
won't
do
make
not-
their own.
They do
Game
not want
Pass
to be
first.
in the handheld business.
Yeah, no, they're just
I'm
gonna
just thinking from the
license.
perspective of like the Series S Series S has to have a reason for existing, and my only logical thought is potentially it's a thought for a smaller platform that you could potentially miniaturize.
Maybe at one point, but I think that they've definitely changed. You know,
They want
they're
that
on the
USB
streaming.
stick.
Yeah,
The
they want the
Series S
USB stick.
sold like doo doo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did.
They've fully.
They're going
I
to
think
license their brand and their
yeah,
IP.
They're
Because
cutting their
Sony
losses
is trying to
from
do
hardware.
it, as we've seen, with their rumored they call it like the Q.
Yeah,
Q
the
handheld.
Q Light or something
Yeah.
like that.
stupid ass idea.
Oh my
I-
god! If that's real, if this thing is real, like it's just the dumbest fucking thing that I've ever fucking heard of.
Yeah, not a fan. I do have a question for you, Matt. Are there differences in the access to platforms and games between Asus and the Steam Decks?
Asus has more because you have more
It does. Okay, that's-
storefront access.
Yeah, because
Yeah, that's
it's
what
the
you were
fact that
just discussing.
that it runs Windows.
So,
you
yeah,
you
that's what I was
use
curious. So
all-
Steam Deck
utilize all
doesn't
those
have-
launchers.
Steam Deck is just the Steam
Is it
launcher.
just
unless you
Steam?
run it as
Steam Deck
Linux.
runs Linux and can be technically modded to run Windows. Is just a computer at like its base,
Right.
and like many people have.
Everything I've said, everything I've read,
It's yeah,
that talks about like putting Windows on it says it fucking sucks.
yes.
But like,
I mean,
so
it's
like you
designed for
can't,
Linux.
right. So you can't do Game Pass on the Steam Deck.
No.
You can, but it takes effort.
Yeah,
That's a
it-
pretty-
It is technically possible, but yeah, it is.
That's
it
a
is
pretty
largely
significant
prohibitive.
advantage for Asus, I would.
I mean,
I would
the
think.
biggest
And that's an
advantage they have,
arguable-
and I say this in the most pedantic way possible, is they have RGB lights on the front.
I mean,
You're
True
going to have
there,
a
and-
non-insignificant
Ooh,
portion of
shiny.
people who are going to point at that and be like, "I want that one."
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's got lights and
shiny.
glows.
It's got the gamer lights. Beepity
Yeah.
boop
And-
pop.
and I also think, Matt, to your point of them like shaving down to the lowest price point, I think, you know, they also, and I don't know if I've seen this much, and maybe you have, but just like marketing to that fact that it isn't just, you know, a Steam, you know, it's not only
Well,
running Steam
there's other
software.
integrations that
So-
go with it. Like there's the
But-
Asus external GPU that they've pointed to as a port that's on there, so you
Okay.
can have an external desktop grade graphics card that you can connect it to output to like a monitor, so you could run it with like a 4090 and
Whoa.
be running 4K monitors at less than 60 frames per second if you're playing Jedi Survivor.
Lol.
But yeah, so I think like, you know, for the $50 more of the high end, like that's a, you know, a good marketing gimmick.
Yeah.
Like
We
look
need
what
to see
you
how
could
these
get
new-
for so much more, you know, you could get so much more for just a
We need to see how
bit
these
more
new
than the
chips
Steam
perform
Deck.
in real world, and that's what I'm most interested to see, what the actual performance differences between the two. I'm also curious because the fully 1080p 120 hertz screen, I'm scared that's gonna destroy battery.
Which is
Like
already
whatever.
like the biggest problem with the Steam Deck. Right?
Yes, like that's my biggest thing that I need to see from like real world hands-on experience with people.
So the little bit I had seen, like looking into these and just like looking into Steam Deck alternatives, period, was that in China or like maybe Hong Kong specifically, we're not going to get into China politics here, but
Wow.
that
It's
there
a
are
win.
there's a lot of like Steam Deck alternatives out there, and I thought that some of them were already using the same chip that the Asus ROG is using.
No,
Okay.
this is running it just announced new AMD,
AMD.
Z1 Max,
Okay.
which had some interesting marketing hubbub around it because they showed a Switch in some of their marketing images, and the Switch distinctly runs an NVIDIA Tegra processor. So it would be interesting to see if the
Switch
potential,
2.
whatever the near future Switch console, potentially switching to an AMD processor to fall in line with the rest of the console market, as the PS5 and the Series X and the Steam Deck and the Asus, they all run AMD built APUs.
Can we circle back quickly to the Sony rumors? Because like
Yes.
it's just the whole thing
Sony
again.
ponies.
Everybody knows at this point what it is. It's like the rumor is of a basically of a not really a streaming device, but a
Remote play
device, which has to be on like the same, always needs an internet
Tethered.
connection, needs to be on the same network as your
doesn't need to be on the
PS5.
same network.
Okay, I wasn't sure about that one because I heard a lot of people saying that, but I remember
Its
Andrew saying he
first
tried it.
implementation for the PS4 required same network integration, but that was it moved past that pretty quickly.
But it still requires a
it requires them
an
both to be
internet
tethered to the internet.
Yeah, and so
And
it's
that
just,
you have a PS5. I think
Yes.
that's the
yes,
the big.
yes, you need a PS5
I mean, obviously,
still,
there's
so.
going to be integration through their their PS Plus.
Well, so that was the
Stuff
point
where
that
they'll
that's the
probably
point
have
that-
some streaming access to that with the.
Yeah, but so my thing was like, if this was say even just like a digital only device, something that needed, that they're not going to do dedicated game software for it, that it's digital only, requires an internet connection
No
to
dedicated
to
OS.
to
Relatively
download.
speaking.
Say like that it needs internet connection to download a game, but then it can be played offline. I would buy it.
Yes.
I would buy that. Particularly because I yes am a proponent of physical game purchasing. New games pretty much exclusively I buy physical. But I am also a subscriber to PS Plus, and I have quite a few games claimed through the monthly game things, a bunch of the ones that were on the PlayStation collection thing that's going away. Like I have a bunch of games that are digital that I have claimed there that I don't know when exactly I would play, but now there's an excuse to play them, like I would absolutely use those on that device, and I would have a use case for it in my current scenario where I'm losing power like every fucking 2 weeks. It would be awesome to be able to have a game that I could then a PlayStation game I could play offline. That is a huge thing for me. Like I do not understand the idea of a handheld, quote unquote, portable device that requires constant internet connection. It's like, who is this for? They've always they always marketed remote play.
I always look at this from the idea that it comes from.
You can play it on any device you
it's
already own.
Exactly, it's antithetical to the. It's like
to the idea
doesn't-
of remote play.
Yeah, like how
it's only for the dad or mom who like their brat kid needs to watch fucking Coco Melon on their on the PlayStation, so like that they cannot use the main TV There's like, yeah, the brat kids got to watch their fucking their stories on the main TV. So
dad's in the bathroom on his throne, locked in with his fucking handheld.
Yeah,
It's
like,
its only use case.
Absolutely, that's its only viability, and it's like how they think that's marketable is boggling my mind. I do
No,
not
and
get it.
like when I think
the
about
thing I always look at is it seems like everything's pushing towards this idea of everywhere you go having some form of connection, internet and otherwise.
But I don't mean to cut you off.
tie into the reality of the fact that like that's just not how it works.
Majority of
reality of
people
the
do
fact
not
that I
have
live-
stable high-speed internet.
Yeah.
Or the fact that I live in fucking New York City and the subways still don't have internet. I've been here
Yeah.
over 10 years now. And for 10 years, we've been like, where is the fucking Wi-Fi in the goddamn fucking subways? And God Emperor Eric Adams is going to put in cameras with Wi-Fi and shit, but no access for the fucking people on the subway. So like,
it'll be Wi-Fi for cops
You
only.
can bet your ass I
Yeah.
wouldn't be connecting to the New York City subway Wi-Fi
no,
if I
but like,
was
They're
tourist in town.
They're tracking your movements.
But even if there was Wi-Fi, that Wi-Fi is like not even 50 years from now will it be good enough to handle fucking streaming gaming on it.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be the worst Wi-Fi in the
funny
fucking
to think
world.
you think Wi-Fi is going to be a standard 50 years from now.
I mean, you know,
whatever the equivalent is, like even, you know,
No, we're going to be back to stones and spears by
yeah,
then.
for real. That's what I was about to say. We'll be
Fair.
writing
Fair.
on rocks at that point.
And
But
what
like,
are,
yeah, it
what
just-
are computers if not rocks? We've tricked.
I
into
mean,
thinking.
this is
Yes.
why my dad has gold in his teeth, so he goes pop it out if he needs to. It'll come down to guns and gold.
No, I just don't get it though, Ben. Like you think about like when I was using a handheld device most in my life,
In a
its most
car.
frequent uses, we're in a
Yeah.
car or on
What
a
am I gonna be
plane.
doing it off
and
my
you-
hotspot?
Like fuck, it's
Are you
just
gonna-
so
are you-
stupid.
are you-
One of the more
gonna
gross things
pay
is
for
a
that
lot of
in-flight
cars are selling
Wi-Fi?
with-
Yeah, literally.
lot of cars are selling with in-car Wi-Fi now.
Okay, but
Yeah.
you got to be rich. Like, you know, then there's the barrier of access
I'm just curious
to
how
that, you know, that few that could pay for that.
and I just don't even believe it'll be good enough. Like, there's just like fucking use the PS Now app on your phone in your apartment with your PlayStation and tell me how good it is. And it's shit. It's not good.
But you can also use the official PS5 backbone controller with your fucking phone that you
Yeah.
already have, like that they made.
I mean,
It's
I can just unfold my phone and turn it halfway and treat it like a DS.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's just the question of who is this for, which
5
just
people.
it has to make like I mean
I
has
mean,
to
the
be that
biggest
this is
indication of who is it
this
for
is
is
not
I'm
true.
probably not going to buy it.
Yeah, this has to be the case that this is not true, or like that they
Yeah.
are probably going to with the
I mean,
all the major outlets, you know, saying the exact same things that we are. We're not saying anything new here.
No.
That you know, that they're going to probably backpedal this. I mean, the PSVR 2 was not selling high, is not selling high enough numbers. They should be rightfully squeamish with dedicated hardware that needs, you know, to tie into the PS5, you know, like that if they're going to venture into this market, it needs to actually do what the Steam Deck and what now the Asus ROG are capable of, and you know, or else it's absolutely pointless.
And like it's so simple. It just, Ben, to your point, it just needs to be able to download a game and play it offline. If it can do that, it'll be fine. Like
the infrastructure they've got set up with, if they tie it to PS Plus rather than rather than remote play, it's such a different picture. It's such a different picture. It would make my subscription to PS Plus that much more appealing, you know? Like I honestly probably don't use PS Plus enough to actually justify the whatever $18 a month I pay for it.
Oof.
You know, it's yeah, I've claimed a bunch of games, but like, have I actually played them? No. I've played some things, but like, although I guess I did just play Yakuza 0 through PS Plus, folks. I am totally a Yakuza convert now. Oh my god, I fucking loved that game.
how much does Yakuza sell for? I mean, that might by itself pay for a chunk of the
Yeah,
years
because they've got the whole series. Yeah, they've got the whole
Yeah.
series now on PS Plus, so that alone makes it worth it. It's a Yakuza subscription.
And well, seeing as we've been speaking about Sony, we'll think we can jump to our next
this episode is full of great transitions.
our next segment, which is that Sony keeps winning while Microsoft can't stop holding L's. And some might accuse me of being a Sony pony. I don't have a strong allegiance, but I do think they're better than Microsoft. So I'm kind of happy. We all know Microsoft's been doing some bullshit, and watching them just continue to eat shit has been some nice schadenfreude for me. But
I can't wait to see their whole deal with Activision just fall apart now that
Yeah.
I mean, last thing I saw was that they're going to try to appeal it, and the appeal rate or appeal win rate against the CMA is not good.
good.
Yeah,
Essentially a waste of time.
I've heard all the copiums like, oh yeah, this just means that they've got to like do some corporate shenanigans to they can make the deal pass everywhere else and just not operate in Britain, or like that they've got to create an
Yeah, they'll create-
Activision
not operate in Britain.
They'll have to do like a.
I mean, I've
they'll
seen
have to do an Activision subsidiary type thing that
Carve out.
exclusively works in Britain,
Yeah.
and that's not
I've
part
seen
of
some
that.
Xbox fans on the internet say that they'll just stop selling in the EU altogether and punish them.
But I mean,
And I was like, oh yes, the company who's already in struggling is going to shut off another market.
Yeah, like that's crazy.
you would like to see other regulatory agencies then kind of follow suit or like use that as a precedent, and it may happen. I don't want to say it won't, but it probably won't. And,
What do
and
we-
so
what do-
will
What do we make of their reasoning, right? That they backpedaled, they've like backpedaled, then backpedaled again. They were like, CMA was originally like, yeah, very bearish on the deal. It's like, yeah, like there's a lot of problems. It was back when it was all the focus on Call of Duty. And then they were
I
like,
appreciate
oh yeah,
that they
we
took the focus away from Call of Duty because it's bigger than just that game.
But so like now their whole thing is about cloud gaming, which is I think a on the books a stronger argument, because Microsoft already owns like what's the percentage of cloud infrastructure? It's something
Isn't it
really
like-
high.
Isn't it like 40 to 60%, somewhere in that
yeah,
range?
and the other one is AWS.
Yeah.
So it's like they have a strong head up in this thing. But like I hear
Yeah.
I see a lot of people,
They were looking at an emerging market and not having a monopoly on it immediately.
and that's then what is then the people who are calling foul on the CMA, right? Is they're saying like cloud is an unproven technology. It is the emerging market. It's not actually
market.
it's not actually descriptive of where most people play their games. Well,
So
that
I have
is
a
true.
question.
Let's say, well, that is true. You see, if we have rumors like fucking the Sony thing, basically are roughly tangential, but it's like that's where the industry wants to go. That's where the industry players want to go
And
is
are
cloud
investing.
gaming.
Yeah, and like I think it's almost I do think it's
I mean, if
disingenuous.
they can move all of the
to-
gameplay onto dedicated servers, they can control the dedicated server hardware so that they don't have to design games for multiple iterations of computers anymore. They
Yeah.
can just have one design out frame.
No, Microsoft wants to do that, but I think it's disingenuous to call this an emerging market when like the largest tech company in the world has made it their entire fucking strategy. They've openly said they don't care about console sales anymore. Like, how can we consider it an emerging market if it is the dominant business strategy of the biggest company doing this shit? Like, that's a crazy thing to say, in my opinion.
Well, and it's also a semantics.
Microsoft
of like where
also
the
doesn't help
market.
themselves there because they don't post any of their console numbers anymore.
Because they're embarrassing.
Exactly, because they don't
Because it's-
care.
And so it's also a defining what the market is, and I would even say, and I don't know if this is a part of their own definition or the CMA's definition, but or even the one that we're using, but mobile games. The mobile games
King.
are a cloud gaming.
They have I think they being Microsoft have like admitted. Oh my God, they admit it that that the purchase is about King more than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look
Yeah.
at the timeline of things, there had been rumors about Microsoft wanting a mobile game company,
Yeah.
and it looked like they were going for was it Zynga?
Yeah.
Right before
Yeah.
Take-Two snapped them up,
Yeah.
and then Microsoft hard pivoted to Activision Blizzard because they wanted King.
Mm-hmm.
No, and so I think that is a important point, is the mobile gaming, and I think that makes the
Another aspect of gaming that is not reliant upon hardware.
yes, exactly, and I think that
Relatively speaking,
For that,
That
I'm saying for
Yeah,
them,
yeah.
for them,
Yes.
they're only on the software side of things in that.
Yeah.
yeah.
yes, and so like that needs to be part of the market analysis of what the market is and is not, and that cuts against it being an emerging market, because if you're broadening it out,
I mean,
to
mobile gaming
games that-
made so much money last year.
exactly, it's not
Yeah.
It makes
there
all the
alone
money.
is not an emerging.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
Call
like
of Duty
60% of the
Call of
gaming
Duty
revenue.
is like Call of
Makes
Duty
more money
is
on mobile
is
than it
the
does on console.
very true, but it's like is the leading like seller
Microtransactions.
on console gaming, sure, but the money that it that makes is nothing compared to what mobile gaming.
Nothing compared to
whole,
Candy
yeah.
Crush and Clash of Clans.
Yeah.
Our
Exactly, and
monoliths
so
of
that-
culture.
that needs to be part of that market analysis, and if that is included, and I haven't looked too much into it, but if that is included, I think that is a good reasoning by CMA, and just a weak argument by Microsoft that it is an emerging market and not the market that people are operating.
We have
in.
criticized these regulatory bodies like from the outset, that like how their reasoning
I mean, this came out of
is-
left field, by the way. Like, this
Yeah,
was
a little
not the
bit, but
expected
it's-
outcome. The rumors had been running rampant that it was going to be passed by the CMA.
So we've always critiqued them for being so focused on like, and yeah, sure, it's fine, like how it affects the consumer. Yeah, we don't want prices to go up for the consumer, because like one of the latest things that they've refuted from Microsoft is like saying that, oh yeah, if Activision Blizzard games are accessible on Game Pass, they're going to increase the price of Game Pass. That's kind of been expected. That's a foregone conclusion. But like, what's never ever
the
part
only
of their
argument I've seen online in support of Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard fundamentally breaks down to two branches. It's either I want Diablo 4 on Game Pass, or if Microsoft buys them, Bobby Kotick goes away, and then all the good things happen, because Microsoft has no issues whatsoever at all in their history with sexual harassment.
But say but that gets to the point that I was making, is right. It's like that the regulators are never talking about what this means for workers. That's never part of their concern, like that. Which is why we've always stressed, no matter who's doing it, Sony, Microsoft, doesn't matter, that consolidation is bad for workers. Fewer employers is worse for employees. It gives employees and workers less power.
Absolutely.
Well, one thing I'll say about I don't know enough about like antitrust in England and now in the EU, but it is always interesting, and part of like the analysis of American antitrust law and these deals that are these mergers that are going through is looking at what's happening in Europe, because the laws are different, and that consumer focus was birthed in America, and that is an American export. So to the extent that they have not fully taken hold of that legal framework, that is why there are different outcomes in England and in the EU than there could be or would be in America. It's typically a foregone conclusion that the mergers are going to pass in America, whereas there's more of a chance of it not going through across the pond. And part of it is because of that, the labor traditions over there. So there is at times a tingling of worker rights in some sense. But
I mean, at least
yes,
more than here.
yes, exactly. And
A low fucking bar.
Yeah.
yes, because we set the bar
'Cause our-
as low as it can
As
go and then
zero,
export
because the
that
test
out.
is about customers here.
Yes. So, to the extent that it's 15% about workers over there and 85% customers, that's how you get these different outcomes. So it always is interesting. And then, to watch American legal systems react to that, to the extent that they do or will under these circumstances, and who knows if that will change, and it'll be interesting to see if there's a specific UK subsidy carve out, if that's the way that they have to go.
Yeah, so I didn't want to fully turn this into an Activision
Yes.
Blizzard Microsoft deal discussion, but
right.
no, it's all good. I think this
reports.
I think this was good discussion. I think yeah. So anyway, my main points though, hopefully Microsoft continues to take the L and this deal gets blown up. That's what's best for all here.
My favorite, just to not to cut in real quick, but my favorite minor detail was the release of the financial reports right alongside this, in 1 or 2 days. And it basically coming out that Sony has sold around 37 million PS5s.
Yeah.
And because Microsoft doesn't publish their numbers directly, there's interpolated data that points to around 18 million Xbox
Jesus.
Series X and S consoles combined, which is when you have the cheapest next gen console to market and you are falling that far behind, that is a hard to see Microsoft staying in hardware for too much longer.
It's because they don't have the games to back it up.
Yeah,
and
there's
the
no
games. And the games that they do are not worth playing on their console.
Hey man, Redfall just came out at 30 FPS.
I've got my
horrible.
I've got my bucket of popcorn ready to see
For Starfield.
To see the shit, to see Xbox heads melt down when Redfall launches with barely 30 frames on console in no performance mode, and then eventually when Starfield also.
I mean, the humor to me is just that Deathloop launched with 3 performance modes on the PS5.
Yeah,
same studio can't seem to get it.
It's just clear that game needed to be delayed further. That was a huge thing, but Microsoft has had no games, so they're like, nope, sorry. No more time for you.
We did this whole conference last year in June where we said all these games that we're showing are coming out in the next 12 months, and a lot of them haven't. So you're stuck.
And we actually meant the next 24 months.
But anyways, we meant fiscal year. Sorry.
We meant. You
didn't read the fine print, folks.
Oops. But yeah, Sony keeps winning. They're selling PS5s gangbusters. Their games are crushing.
Record
going to the computer. Sales. Yeah, record Q1 sales. They're making a ton of money.
They're making a lot of money off of their PC ports too, right? Wasn't that
exactly
you sent? They're making their moves into the PC market, even with the absolute travesty that was things like The Last of Us
launch.
Yeah, my God, PC ports have just been fucking nuts.
PC gaming 2020 plus has just been.
So Andrew, do you have any more points you want to make, or can we transit? That's a decent enough transition into.
Yeah, we can go.
Have made a smooth one.
We can go. That's good. Moral of the story: Sony up, Microsoft down.
Says the only only one here lacking a PS5 console. I am stuck to PC gaming, and I here with my PC comrades in solidarity that they can't get their Star Wars dopamine at even 30 frames per second. The even on a 4090, people are running this.
How is that
Copium post?
Yeah, I don't understand.
I saw a Copium post on PC gaming of a guy who's like, I have a 13900K and a 4090, and all I had to do was turn the shadows onto low and change my And someone was like, my brother in Christ, you have the top of the line
Oh, God.
hardware and you're talking about having to compromise graphics settings to get an acceptable frame rate.
I was
It's just a story that keeps on giving here. One of the recent things I saw, it's like that you know, can't get a solid frame rate. No settings changes do anything.
Hey
the
man, sometimes
GPU
you
and
just need to reset the
CPU,
game to get the V cache to reset so that
but
you
it's
can
like
stop stuttering.
it's like
Mudahar
GPU and
had a
and
tweet where
CPU.
he shrunk it down to less than 720p.
Yeah,
And
he's
he
like
still couldn't get it at 60
we're
frames.
counting the pixels, folks.
Yeah.
But like this one is wild to me is that the game so it's like it's not actually utilizing I've seen things like it's not going above like 30% of GPU or CPU usage, yet it is using well over 15 gigs and sometimes exceeding 21 gigs of VRAM.
Oh
Yes.
my god.
Just to put that into perspective, my GPU only has 8 gigs of VRAM,
Oh, fuck.
as does yours.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like this shit's gonna
God.
explode your PC. It's like, how can you make a game that unoptimized?
I mean, the answer is that they don't test the PC side of things. They test it for console, launch
Even
it to
their-
console, which is
even their
also
statement-
having performance problems.
not as bad, but yes, having
but still there.
having
Yeah.
screen tearing,
Performance
resolution
mode dropping under 50
problems,
frames per second constantly.
Hey,
but like,
at least they could get 50 frames per second.
Yeah.
Like, PC gamers are struggling even for fucking 30 in a game that was supposed to be played at
Yeah.
60.
I saw someone who was like, "Hey man, I'm running a 4080 and I'm running at 1440p and it looks great." And it was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
a
Okay.
4080 and you're running at 1440p."
like I don't understand how they can get this. Even in their response to this, they basically are like,
They were
covering
basically
their ass. They're like,
blaming the users.
yeah, they're basically just like, PCs are too hard to program for. We're just little electronic arts. We can't we can't
You guys build
do all the
computers that
different
are too
configurations. It's like, yeah, your things are too complex. We're just little dumb babies. Don't know how to make game.
The problem is we were using a computer from 10 years ago when we were designing this game, so we don't know how the new ones work.
No, I legitimately think what they're doing is they're designing for console first, and then they're just like thinking about PC afterthought as like a port.
Well, and are they like optimizing for a PC that exists 20 years in the future? Like that could actually run this?
Yeah, I don't. It makes no sense to me that anything could get to market.
I mean, that's my second point is I don't think they're testing their PC ports before they launch. I
Like,
think they've accepted the fact that people pre-order games and
Well,
will
I saw
purchase
one
them and hold on to them.
I
And
saw
then they'll
one
just
thing
wait for a patch.
people saying like, oh,
Yeah.
just polish the first 2 hours so that it's past the Steam return window, and then afterward just let it fucking nosedive. That's all we gotta do.
Yeah, that damn.
Get it to 2 hours and 1 minute. Get it to
Yeah.
2
The
hours
first
and
2
1
hours are
minute,
filled
and then
with
we're
2
golden.
half-hour cutscenes that you can't skip.
Yeah, pre-rendered. Can't do it. Oh my god. You know what's
A 20-minute sliding
Stop
section.
giving them ideas.
what's the latest kicker that I saw? So this was like coming from one of the Digital Foundry guys, testing it on multiple
the
rigs.
anti-piracy.
Yeah, de novo, keeping people from testing on 2 different machines. Have logged on
Yes.
to it's logged into a different machine too recently. Yeah, can't get it on.
The tinfoil hat theory is that the anti-piracy software is to prevent tech reviewers from being able to get benchmarks from their software.
That's
Like,
fantastic.
Again, with
Fucking genius.
9 out of 10,
notoriously-
great game, folks.
with
I don't
notoriously
even
how-
10,
know about the
8.5 makes me
gameplay
feel
or
like a
anything.
Jedi.
Yeah, let's talk about that, right? Like this one was the best for me. It's like PC Gamer writes an article about all the poor PC performance, but then they gave it an 8 out of 10 in their review.
I mean, PC
man,
Gamer
what the
is the like
fuck?
definition of just like chasing internet anger.
Well,
It's
I
like
mean,
the game, so you have to follow it in the waves. The game was super hyped before launch. So they're like, everyone's gonna love this 8 out of 10.
So we got
And
to
then they
love
saw
it
that
too.
everyone was getting mad about performance. Like, performance sucks. Everyone's mad.
It's just, but
it
like no
doesn't make
reviewer is
sense.
talking about it. Was like, the technical issues were a footnote. But again, it's like how bad Fallen Order was, technically speaking. I don't, again, how they
Fallen
can
Order
get away
was
with doing
horrible
this.
on launch.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
I
guys
mean,
watched
every game is
this-
horrible on
this-
launch.
I don't know
Like,
if you guys
if-
watched
Well, no,
the
that's
skill
not-
up
that's
review.
not
almost every,
technically true.
almost every. Almost.
I'm just saying, like, Fallen Order in particular was a very bad launch, especially on consoles. It was bad across the board.
Mm.
We've had some that at least launch in an acceptable state on consoles now, and not close on PC.
But it's not just performance, right? We're seeing plenty of bugs too, like game-breaking audio bugs, incredible rates of like desyncing and
One of my
line
favorite memes
repetitions and
has been me playing Starfield at 30 frames per second while clipping through walls, and like NPCs like walking into each other and not being able to get around each other.
yeah. If these games and these studios can't make a decent PC game, what do we think fucking Bethesda's going to do, folks? It's
Boy.
oh man, I can't wait for the
Oh boy.
for
Going to
the
be a
internet's
system
reaction
seller,
to that.
folks.
It'll have a unique setting where it turns your computer into a paperweight.
But I've also seen plenty of critiques about the game itself. Like there are more trusted reviewers who are saying he's like, yeah, the combat's still not great. The level design is artificial and restrictive, and like I'll point people towards the skill up review where he's like saying like, oh yeah, like there is no actual creativity in terms of like the because so much of the game is fucking platforming, right? And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, you think you should be able to like go and double jump and dash to this platform, but oh no, there's an invisible wall and I plummet to my death.
It's not an actual open exploration. It is very gated, and no,
So it
you
still
can
has the,
technically
like,
jump up there and reach it,
Metroidvania.
but no, you're not supposed to go up from over there. You're supposed to go up from this other spot.
But yeah, folks, go check out our Fallen Order episode that outlines so many of our problems with this game that I have seen reiterated on reviewers that I trust, that like these games don't know what they want to be, regardless of
Nope.
technical shit. It's just like in terms of actual design, they don't know what they want to be. They're 5 different game styles.
Yeah, and if you
roughly
do
cut
5
and
different
paste
things
together.
mediocrely enough, it looks avant-garde.
But like, yeah, it's all incredibly shallow. I will be skipping this one for sure.
Same.
Yeah, I don't think any of us are playing that.
Nope.
Unless maybe it gets on somewhere
my-
that I could emu. We'll call it that.
It's isn't a great time to be a gamer, folks. There's lots of stuff going on, lots of things happening. Any final random stories that were out there that people wanted to bring up? Anything else? I feel like a decent amount of stuff happened this month, but
I don't know if I let you guys know, but I randomized Pokemon.
I'm hearing this for the first time.
Did he say
Wow.
something?
I'm just hearing this.
All I heard was the Charlie Brown
Great.
adult sound.
Wah,
Wah,
wah, wah.
Wah, wah,
I'm excited to play the Horizon Forbidden West DLC. That's probably
I've
the
been
next
really
thing.
enjoying
That's
Horizon.
probably the next thing I'm gonna play. Got to get back into it and get my chops back up. Remember how to. do
There's
the
nothing more
gameplay.
satisfying than being crouched in a bush like 100 meters above a camp and just raining arrows down from above while they frantically search for you and cannot find you.
I am excited. I've seen, from the more critical reviewers of it, I've seen like, yeah, it's like doesn't really introduce anything particularly groundbreaking in terms of gameplay. That the setting changes are really cool, but it doesn't actually add anything particularly interesting encounter wise. The one big thing being that like the final boss thing is a technical marvel and is a true showcase for what the PS5 can do, but that it's short.
The final boss is just 2 Tide Rippers in a 20-foot
Fuck off.
arena.
I will throw my controller out the fucking window. I hate Tide Rippers.
I'll agree with you that was a very frustrating fight. That definitely resulted in a couple moments where I just stood there and was like, "Kill me so I can reset."
Those things fucking suck. I hate them. They can jump so far. Their water beam fucking attack is hot dog water.
No, it's the triple one that spins from their back propeller thing.
Yeah,
That is a pain in the balls.
Oh my god. All right, but yeah.
Oh my
god.
god.
I think that's next up for me. As I finish I'm almost done with my second playthrough of Near Replicant for our upcoming episode. I honestly don't know that I'm going to be going for endings C through E. I really don't think I can do it.
It's a lot.
I don't think I can do it. But all right, folks, stay tuned for all that fun stuff coming at you in the future. You can follow
we have
us.
Arcane next week.
Yes, I bought myself a Netflix gift card to be able to re-up my subscription to be able to rewatch Arcane, but I have yet to do it. Instead, I've been watching the John Mulaney stand-up special.
Pretty good.
But folks, you can follow us live at twitch.tv/Campaign Comrades. You can also follow the YouTube channel, Campaign Comrades. I have been streaming on YouTube. We have our weekly group stream, which I guess we'll be doing Uncut Comrades this week.
I'm gonna say it
Not
basically
much,
just turned into
actually.
us playing Divinity, if that's gonna be the
Yeah,
Which I'm down to play tonight or anytime this weekend.
I am streaming with Neela tonight. Folks, go check out Blind Neela on Twitch as well. But I am busy tonight. But folks, we love you very much. For you PC gamers out there, stand strong. They cannot bring us down.
Solidarity.
don't let them take your slurs away.
Bye-bye.
On that note, bye-bye.